You know, it's been a strained relationship between the president and his Secretary of State, Rex Tillerson. And Rex Tillerson's job could be ending in the next coming weeks. A report out today that the White House has a plan to replace him. Let's bring in some new perspective on what's going on. Bill Smullen is the Director of National Security Studies at Syracuse University and a frequent guest here because I love talking to him. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks, Mike.
Boy, this seems like a slow death of a job for Rex Tillerson. Watching it and knowing nothing about what's actually happening, you know, with the inner workings, it just seems like, boy, you're just floundering.
Not good personnel management. First of all, I think you have to have the courage to look somebody in the eye if you're going to fire him. And Tillerson happens to be in Bahrain at the moment. So he's 8,000 miles away.
Couldn't be further away.
And he picks up the paper or listens to the news.
Sure.
So I feel badly for Tillerson. I feel badly for his family. But I don't feel badly that he's departing if that's going to be the case.
In your opinion, why didn't Tillerson work? Why isn't he working?
Well, first of all, he's not a Washingtonian, so he doesn't understand the ways and wherefores of government.
Wasn't that the whole point of a Trump administration?
I think it was. But his management style was more wedded towards how to organize the chart on paper, how to do a PowerPoint as opposed to foreign policy, which is what he's there to do, to advise the president. He's his principal foreign policy advisor. So he was cleaning house, he was letting people go, he was not replacing them, so there is a void there, and that hurts because what he should have been doing is calling people to his office on a regular basis. Tell me what I need to know about the relationship with X, Y, and Z. He wasn't doing that. So his management style did not fit the job. Maybe he was good at Exxon, which was his prior position, but it did not work in the Department of State.
So now that he is sort of lingering and waving in the wind, and this job of Secretary of State appears to be very much in flux, it comes at a time when all of the news is directly related to either diplomacy or potential military action with North Korea.
Exactly.
If you're the president, why not just get this done quickly and say we've got a Secretary of State who knows North Korea, who knows the situation, who's been on board, and is going to help us here?
That's exactly the way it should have been done, or should be done. Do it as soon as he comes back, and you shouldn't have announced it until he gets back. I think this has been in the works for some time. The president has not been happy with Tillerson. Tillerson really hasn't been happy in his job. So we could have reached this decision a long time ago. But he will be the shortest serving Secretary of State in history, which means that he really wasn't up to the job in my view. He wasn't doing a good job. And people in the State Department, and I talked to many of them, are beside themselves with the fact that the boss was not at home much, and wasn't talking to them much, and wasn't asking for their advice much. And that's not how you run a department. I mean, Colin Powell called people to
We should say you have plenty of experience with General Powell.
And he called people to his office all the time. Tell me what I need to know. And he would pick up the phone to call a foreign minister or get ready for a foreign visit.
So his hands were dirty.
Yes. So
in a way that you think Tillerson's are not.
Exactly. And this is important for national security. This is important for the nation. This is important to the American people, how this all plays out. And so I get concerned when I see mismanagement of these kinds of things.
Take me inside how a report like today comes out. The New York Times breaks a story. There is a White House plan to replace Tillerson. In detail, too, like taking the CIA director, Michael Pompeo, and putting him in that job, picking Senator Cotton from Arkansas to then go to the CIA. So they've got this chessboard laid out. How does that happen? Does somebody in the White House call up the reporter from the Times and say,
It's a typical White House leak. It's called a trial balloon. Launch a trial balloon to see how it floats and how it plays out with the Congress, with the
Does
press.
anybody stand up and say, do not fire Rex Tillerson, or else there's, I'm not on board with you? And that obviously has not happened, so the White House knows, okay, this will work.
And it's likely not to happen. So the president will have a little bit of authority when he eventually gives him
Walking papers?
Walking papers.
We've run out of time. I've got to give you yours, but I know you'll be back because this is going to continue. Bill Smullen, thank you so much. We'll be right back.